Hello all. I'm being guided to try this. Never done this. I want to do a poll for the full moon. It's going to be on July 23rd, 2021, and it will be full moon in Aquarius. So what we're going to do is just take a moment to clear the deck, to clear the space, set sacred space for this reading as we are working in the highest alignment, the highest truth, and the highest healing for the collective. What do we need to know about the full moon in Aquarius on July 23rd? And let's start out with the heart of the matter. What is at the heart of the matter for this full moon? What is at the heart of the matter for this full moon? Full moon in Aquarius. I don't fully know astrology, so I don't know anything about what it means, full moon in Aquarius. I just felt like I was going to do a little bit of a card reading for this. Full moon in Aquarius. What do we need to know? Let me go ahead and give this a few more shuffles. It seems like it doesn't want to talk right now. Might have to go to another deck, we'll see. Heart of the matter. Let's go to the heart of the matter for full moon in Aquarius. Ooh, Five of Wands. Okay. So it seems that this one, for the Five of Wands, is I'm seeing where are we competing in our own lives with others. It seems like the focus of this is, for the heart, is looking at where we're competing with other lifetimes. And it's interesting because this actually really does tie into the message that I was going to give out today. And it's regarding warring with ourselves, warring with our mothers, warring with our fathers, but also warring the lines of war that have been attributed to so much devastation and chaos in the world, right? So this includes spiritual war. And there was this theme in this thread coming up this morning about ending the spiritual war, right? Like dropping all the battle and the conquering and beginning to live in cohabitation, right? So cohabitation, existing in oneness, living in oneness. And it seems that the heart of the matter is taking a moment to look at where are we repressing or suppressing our gifts because we are threatened by an ideology or a belief system. And, you know, to get into the heart of this is really going deep into our heart and going, where am I still playing out the battle? Where am I still playing out the distorted masculine or the raw masculine? Where am I still playing into the wounded masculine, right? Playing into a lot of the soldier lines, right? And where we can bring nurturing and healing to our own times of warfare, times of struggle, times of heartache, but also times of competition, right? Because when it comes to the shifts that are occurring and the building and the co-creation of a new planet for us to live on and to build new universes, it requires us to drop the battle and the separation, right? And the storylines regarding trauma. So this is really about clearing up our story, clearing up our past lives, clearing out everywhere we're seeking reckoning, right? Because, you know, it seems that there's this level of justice that's occurring in our own lives, including political justice. And the lines that we've gone through regarding servitude to the man or to the royal or to the king and the queen is what's like, as soon as we recognize that our divine inheritance is on the other side of this pathway, the sooner we can drop this pathway and begin to embody more of our divine inheritance and picking up our divine royalty. Because there's been this whole theme coming up of like, oh, what it is to wake up to your divine royalty and recognize you've been treated like a peasant. Well, a part of that anger and this aggression and this really fiery energy regarding this card right now is that it's facilitating, if we could just take a moment to sit with that feeling of the rage and of the persecution and the exile and the slavery, right? If we could take a moment to sit with that energy, what it'll do is, if we allow that energy to exist within us, it's going to begin to open up new pathways and new chapters in our own reality, because we're giving it an opportune time to be. This level of feeling and emotion that's arriving through the energetics of this full moon is going to bring up a lot for us regarding these storylines. And if we can just take a moment to sit with that energy, we're going to gift ourselves an opportunity to feel it. And on the other side of that feeling is freedom. Okay. So it's interesting. Last night I was talking to Patrick from Ryoku Rook, and he asked me how I felt about complex emotions. And this right here, this storyline is what I would call a complex emotion, because there's layering to it. There's so much embedded in those emotions that the complexity of it really does, for me, I deflect complex emotion. And so if you could just take a moment to sit with complex emotion and allow it to be complex, allow it to be a soup, right? Like, it's taking a moment to eat your own creation and to savor it. And when we eat that creation and we let it sit on our palate, we can take a moment to recognize what nuances we need to discard and that which we need to savor in that as well. And so a lot of this is sitting with the complex emotion and allowing it to be complex in nature. And when you allow it to be that, you're giving space and breathing space for it to be what it is. And the justice will come naturally through universal balance. There's nothing that we need to do as a peacekeeper, right? And as one who is unifying the realms and ending this, there's not much we need to do but focus on our unity, focus on our strengths, focus on our gifts, focus on our love, and let God, the universe, and the higher realms handle the rest, right? So this is really a big dropping of burden. And basically I'm seeing this as kind of like put everything down and let the universal orchestration handle the rest. So we want to go now from the heart of the matter. We're going to go into the mind. Let's go into the logic. What is this? Oh, here we go. 5 of Cups, right? This is us looking at the despair. And even if we're seeing, look at the placement of this. He's looking down at this right now. And all the fallen cups. Looking down and mourning almost the loss of this. What the mind needs is an opportune time to go through this process of feeling the loss, but not turning your back on that which still stands, right? The crumbling of this full moon, of what it's going to prepare us for in the clearing out process, is still to hold on to the level of hope and faith for that which still stands. There's seeds that have been planted, and some of those were weeds and are being uprooted organically through the purification. And there's some of your harvest that's still standing. And so the question is, while you're going through this process of the mental fog, right, and feeling that loss, what seeds still stand and will stand the test of time because they were planted with the heart? They were planted with the heart. Take a moment to review and to reflect on loss, on despair, on mourning, on grief. And allow yourself, gift yourself an opportunity to feel fully and to empty out those cups. Because the thing is that as I see these, it's like these cups are down, but they're down because they need to be emptied. The only reason they fell was because they were filled with toxic waters. And so allowing those cups to fall is we're now allowing the toxicity to leave, right? And we're gifting ourselves an opportunity to know that we still have 2 purified cups that stand, because these were built on purified emotion. And, you know, the way that I'm viewing this river right now, too, is to recognize that this is a part of the... In order to cross this water to get to this landscape, right? This is a part of what needs to be sacrificed to find new land. There's been a lot coming up with sacrifice. What is it, and so here's the question point. What do you need to let go of? What do you need to detach from to be able to prepare yourself for this new landscape and to make this journey across the river into the new land? But it's interesting. There's a bridge right there. There's a bridge right there. We need to take a moment and to lift up out of this spell of loss. And if we literally just lift our head for a moment, stop trying to hold on to this, feel this, right? Because I feel like this, especially look how this wand is coming up right here, right? Stop mourning old earth. Lift up your head, look over, there's a bridge. It's a very easy crossing. Now, as we see, it might be a longer route. It might be a little bit longer. So it's up to you. Do you want to swim against the current? Do you want a shortcut? Or do you want to take the long, easy route? It's entirely up to you. The choice is yours. This is your journey. It's your pathway. It's your building. It's your structure. But it's your choice on how to navigate that. But you know, even this, I'm seeing this as Spirit's got your back. I'm seeing this radiant glow above his head as almost an ancestor or a divine guardian that's like, I've got you. I've got you. You're not alone. And you know, our ancestors have been coming in really close, at least for myself, and even our ancient ancestors have been coming forward. So it's not just, you know, family. So it is family line ancestors, but really old ancients have been coming forward. And they're holding you through this process. They do not want you to hold on to the grief anymore. They want you to let go. But it requires taking a moment to witness what you do have and to not turn your back on the cups that still stand, because those cups are going to stand the test of time. This is all about a castle made in sand. A castle made of sand will crumble, right? Because it cannot test the waves of time. The firm bedrock of those purified cups that still stand. Those are what are pushing you forward and carrying you forward on your journey. Okay. So now we're going to go into the core. We're going to go deep down into the core of what this moon is providing for us. So we're going to go into the core. What's happening at the core of this? Whoa! Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords. This is a removal of obstacles. This is allowing yourself to be fierce and brave in all that you do. This is a reclamation of power, a reclamation of gifts, and it's allowing your power to drive you forward on this journey. So underneath all of this, at the core of you that's being expressed and exposed through this is your power. It's your ability to face that which you've been afraid of for so long. This is your ability to move forward with your journey. And you know, it's interesting that here we have at the core of it where it's a full moon in Aquarius, which is an air sign. And it's this intellectual, so it's interesting because we're going into the core, but I'm hearing it's this intellectual banter that we have with self and others, improving that which no longer exists. It's expired. There's been an expiration date on the internal banter. There's an expiration date on the and I'm sorry, but it's expired. And it's stale. And so we all... Excuse me, I'm sorry. Folly. Folly and jolly. Jolly folly. This banter needs to go. Where are you consuming too much of yourself in greed and in war? And where are you not preparing yourself for this harvest that's arriving? There's 2 cups still standing. It's a harvest. You know, this is really about spiritual ego too. This is really coming into where are we still allowing the spiritual ego to supersede the wisdom of the heart? And where are we allowing the intellect to drive the ship? When the compass of the waters of this trip and this travel in dimensional bandwidth, vibrational frequency, or even a physical travel for self, is that the compass of this experience is of the heart, and the ruling mind, which the ruling class of the mind, of the greed, filth, and subjugation, is what needs to let go of. And so this is really about, this whole thing is about surrender. It's surrendering control, surrendering the need to know, and gifting yourself the opportunity to come through the heart and to express that in your journey. This is really coming into a stage of feeling for ourselves. And while it might seem like it's kind of devastating in the aspects and the picturing of it, we're actually facing the devastation to leave the devastation, right? So it's like, as soon as you wake up to the fact of the way your house is built, you now have a choice point in being able to build yourself a new home. You have an opportunity to begin to clear out all that old, archaic, stale, stuck energy and open yourself up to receive that of the new. It's a renewal of essence. It's also a renewal of fertility. So all of this energy to myself seems very masculine in the energetics. And so when we clear out this masculine energy, we step into that realm of that divine fertility. And we get ourselves an opportunity to play. And so now that we're here with this, let's go into how this is affecting the masculine energetics. Okay? So how is this having an effect on the masculine? 7 of Swords. Petty theft. The thievery of the masculine. Oh. This is very much so judicial system based, and this is really commencing in a new way of operation. For a while there was, this, when it came to morality, right? There were those that would thieve because they couldn't receive what they needed to receive, right? And this is all because of how the system has been built and how complex it is here in the United States. And so the energetics is stating, for ourselves is let's take a moment to look at where are we still operating with slimy motives? Where are we still sticky in our energetics? Where are we not purifying our intention and our outlook on creation itself? This has also got a lot of trickster energy in it too. So this really much so is talking about deception. And when we are deceiving, we're not being true to all that we are. We're not being true in our organic functioning. we somehow feel like trickery is the only way to receive. And so in that masculine energetics, where the invitation on this full moon is for the masculine to go, where are you still being deceptive? Where are you still being deceptive in your life to be able to receive that which where are you still playing into the negativity of that depiction, right? Because in the infinite abundant universe will always provide. But at some level, our needs weren't met. Okay, at some level, the masculine's needs weren't met. And so it had to start playing into trickery and deception in order to receive what it is. And then I'm seeing this almost as a receiving the feminine. In receiving the feminine energetics, it seems like at some level it had to deceive. Because at some level, its needs weren't met. So then a really good question to ask yourself is, what are my needs today? And how can I go about getting these needs met in a purified form? Right? Because the sun is at his back. Like, look at this. He's in a golden room. He's in a golden opportunity. And yet he's still playing in deception and depicting a character of this trickster or jokester in order to receive. And it's to say, hey, buddy, we're in a whole new room now. Masculine, we're in a whole new room. We don't have to deceive or play in trickster energy because our golden moment is here, right? The alchemy is done. The golden fleece has arrived. You're building that tapestry, right? And so really almost it's like the spilling of the cups in this, in the masculine energetics and the competition and all this stuff. It's where are, and oh, this is fascinating. This all ties into the competitive masculine energy and the ideology of competition. Because competition requires deception on the opponent, right? In order to get first place. And that doesn't need to occur. When it comes to unraveling the male ego and the male archetype and this functioning, we're essentially looking at competition, trickery, and strategy, right? We're looking at the notion of setting up a strategy to receive what we need, right? Rather than allowing divine flow and divine inheritance to find us where we're at, where we don't need to be strategic, right? The end of deception. Where can we end the deception with self and how we deceive others? By speaking our truth fully. But this is requiring a moment for all of us to, and it's interesting. The S blurred out and I saw even on the 7. How can we even the playing field in our own life? By I'm looking at Eve. But how can we even the playing field in our own life? By bringing balance to these situations. So take a moment on this full moon to reflect on where you have played the villain or the trickster or the deception in your own life, and begin to bring peace to that. I think a part of evening the scales of this, and I'm hearing justice to even the scales of this for ourselves, is to take a moment to find peace and clarity to where we have deceived. And so this might be a good time on the full moon to get out a pen and paper, light a candle under the full moon. You can do your whole ritual if you've got a full moon ritual, and begin to look at everywhere you have been deceptive in your lifetime and other lifetimes, and begin to make peace and to get greater clarity on where that deception lies and where you can end the deception by being clear and true to who you are and true with others. That's going to begin to create a whole new spiral to open up for us. There's going to be a new staircase opening up, and a part of that ending this is where this is almost a gate. Okay? This is almost a gate. And a part of this is dropping the burden of the deception of our own lives, of self-deception and deception of others, so we can begin to pass through that gate and climb up the staircase into this golden room. This golden room is here. It's just asking us to drop the deception. Drop the deception entirely. Okay, so let's look at the feminine energetics. What do we need to know for the feminine energy on this full moon? What do we need to know about the feminine energy? Interesting. We'll put that one back up because so the five of Pence just showed up in reverse, and it's just taking a moment to recognize right now that through all of this, the struggle is over. The abandonment is over. We're coming to a phase for all of us of joining with our community and deepening our connections. And so that card just wanted to come through to say, hey guys, like, drop the abandonment. Like, because even though we have to feel it fully, the story no longer exists. And when we were talking about expiration dates earlier on ideology, that seems to be one of those cups. One of those 3 cups that's spilt is the idea of abandonment. And that when we don't abandon self by standing in our truth fully, we don't have to deceive to receive. The reason that we deceive in order to receive is because of abandonment. Some level or some degree, we tell ourselves that we cannot have it all by just being us authentically. And this is that nurturing essence that's coming through right now that wants us to just, as the birds are chirping, this is that essence coming through right now and allowing us to, it's gifting us an opportunity to let go of the abandonment wound, because we can receive all the blessings of the universe and all the world has to offer by just being ourselves and telling the truth. Ooh, King of Cups for the feminine. This so ties into to everything coming up with Lilith and stuff like this. This is really about owning your emotional inheritance, right? Like, this to me is recognizing the strength. And it's funny how the king is showing up in the feminine role. How does it want to come through? The keys to our royalty are held in the feminine. It's held in the maturity of our emotional state. Because this to me is a very balanced, justified ruler. One who cares, one who's very forgiving, one who's very loving. But I'm also seeing too that with this, the feminine energy itself has to make peace with the patriarch. Because as we're healing the bloodline and all the royal lines, right? This has been a big one for a while, clearing all the royal lines and all of our DNA and all of our heritage and our genealogy. If we need the patriarch to soften up, we also need the feminine to soften up to the wounded masculine. And stand your ground, people. Like, in the feminine energetics, stand your ground. Be in your power. Be in your power. But there's a level of compassion in the heart opening of recognizing that even the patriarch has wounds. And the masculine has wounds. This is forgiving the depiction of the masculine energetics, the masculine principality, and the masculines in your own life by going within and making peace with the conqueror. Making peace with the ruler, making peace with the ruling class, and I'm hearing the optometrist. Making peace with the optometrist. Making peace with those that skewed your vision, right? Because, when it comes to the optometrist has the ability to make corrections on our lenses. Now, whether those corrections are for our highest good or whether they are for other reasons and means, we can play out that storyline however we want to play that storyline. This is forgiving that which created the filters of distortion in which you choose to see the world. This is where the energy of Bastet comes through to correct the lenses. And so maybe I need to do a full moon reading with Bastet to bring Bastet through to help us with this. But it also seems like this whole situation, as I'm now almost viewing it as a Celtic cross, which is cool. Is that the clarity will come by emptying out all of these issues that were coming up in this reading and beyond, because there's more. This is just one perspective in one reading. There's more dynamics at play here. So this is just my piece of the puzzle. I'm also hearing to give yourself a moment to rest, right? So this is to really, for the feminine energetics, is to know, even in this, is that it's safe to sit in your throne. I'm also seeing this as like the feminine energy. It's really safe to step into that organic essence of being. Because look, not doing anything, no action, just pure presence. And so this is also for all of us, asking us to just focus on taking a moment out of time to be pure present with self and pure present with this entire process. And it seems like the archetype of the feminine and the goddess in our own lives is really facilitating this. And so while this destructive depiction of misery and of distortion and of deception is playing out in our own lives, harness and embody that of the feminine. And I'm hearing Dark Moon Lilith, actually. It seems like there's some peace and justice that's occurring from within that's allowing, and a part of us is allowing the feminine to step into this, so this whole story can fall. So all of this can crumble. And so we're going to go to the highlighted message now. Universe, what is the guides, guardians, thank you so much for your time. What's the highest aligned highlighted message for this? What is the highlight that we need to know of this to bring resolution? Okay, so we're going to highlight the resoluting factor over this entire situation. What's the resolution here? Let's go ahead and highlight the resolution. Ooh, it's cards are flying! Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands. New creation. Allowing this new creation, this new energy to strike through. To pummel through and to clear all this out. This is that lightning bolt. I'm seeing this right now as the way that, like, look at this. Let's see if I can hold I've never done this before. Let's see if we can hold this. It's like allowing this new creative energy to come through and to just all of it. All of it. And this energy is coming from the heavens. This is a divine energy that's coming forward. Allow the magic in. Don't fear the magic. Don't resist the magic. Allow the magic in. Let the magic in. This magic is not here to cripple or to destroy you. It's to completely obliterate this whole deception in our own reality. And I'm getting a little fiery, so. About ending the deception. This might be a good time to, I'm hearing, to work with runes. So if you've been guided to work with runes, I invite you to go watch, there's a lot of great Rune Rakers videos by Rustling Around, Rob's Tarot, Miss Remy Healings, Eve from Everlong Mystic has done a rune or two. Cindy from Awakening to Spirit has done some rune videos, some rune raker videos. Work with the runes. I believe she has. I don't know. Work with the runes. It seems like there's something with tree and elven magic that's going to be coming down for ourselves, and this is an opportunity to be able to witness that. It's like this full moon is a portal of the glory of the divine coming through and striking down this whole deception and the deceptive strategy that has existed for eons of time. But a part of that is we have to let this magic in to clear out our own deception, to clear out our own grief, and to clear out our own competition. This is also going to open up new creative endeavors for you. So it's interesting because like Ace of Wands is a new creative energy. This new creative energy, and I talked about this, that there's new energy that's arriving I've never felt before regarding the masculine. And this is what was connected to the Elven Elohim that I discussed in my video. And it seems like right now is the opportunity to embody, to call forward this new magic for ourselves and to allow this magic in. This is also allowing the divine, like this hand popping out of the clouds to me is very much so, let God do its work. Let God do his thing. Let the divine handle this. Allow the divine to work some magic in your own life too. Another highlighting theme is that this right here takes a lot of work. Like when I see the Knight of Swords, the Five of, like, this is all masculine ego, active energy. And it's interesting because this prevalent energy, the highlighting theme is to just rest and let the support take care of you. All that's asked is that you just support and nurture self and just be with self. Support and nurture self and allow the divine to take care of you. And everything's going to be cool. It's going to be good. Allow Luna to support you in her purified form. Allow Luna to support you in her crystalline purified form. Are there any other messages that want to come out? Any other messages that want to come out for this full moon in Aquarius? Any other messages? I'm here. Baby shark, doo 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 doo. Baby shark. Yeah, we're ending Baby Shark. Justice. The Justice card. Things are coming into balance. The scales are being balanced right now. But it's happening in other worlds and in other dimensions and other universes. And there are actors right now that are balancing those scales of justice for us. It's not up to us. A part of this balance is coming into our feminine energy and allowing the toxic masculinity to just fall away. A part of this justice and bringing balance into our own lives is holding our truth and honoring our truth. This is very much so. This ties into a lot of the Lilith stuff that's been coming up and a lot of the Dark Moon Lilith. Stand firm in your truth and in your knowing. That's going to bring balance. Look at everywhere you've sacrificed your truth. Because everywhere we've sacrificed our truth, we've given away our power to that. And a part of this receptive energy for ourselves is to just stand holding our truth firm in all that we are. And note that balance will be served. Justice will be served by the divine. It takes no action on our part. Let Gaia do her thing. Allow Gaia to be what she is. allow the universe to be what it is, and allow the universe to handle this. And this is, I'm hearing hold on tight. And not in the sense of holding on tight for attachment, but like hold on to your truth. Keep holding your truth, because things are changing. And I feel like with all of this energy that right now, your truth is going to stand the tests of time. This truth that you're embodying right now, just hold it very close to you and cherish it and honor it. Give yourself the opportunity to stand in your truth, because that truth is changing. This truth that you're speaking and you're embodying right now is what's bringing balance. It requires no action other than for you to partake in your own soul and to take part in your own truth. That's all it is. It's just standing in your truth. And it's so beautiful because this energy is representative and very much so in action state in the way it's standing, very masculine in holding what it is. But it's a very feminine, receptive energy. And so it's almost like the new level of doing is by being you authentically. And that is what's going to bring balance to this whole situation and all the deception, is to just keep standing in your truth. Let the divine take care of the rest. I almost see this as an opportunity for ourselves to just sit and be, to honor ourselves, and let the universe work its magic in our lives. Like, we've been doing enough weaving. We've been doing enough weaving, and it's time. The ships are coming in. Our pathway is opening up. So it's almost like this is, to me, I'm seeing this as the backside of her. Just keep standing in your truth. Just keep standing in your truth, and the rest will come to fruition. Okay? So I love you guys. If you haven't, please click subscribe. You know, all those good things that we say on these channels. I think I'm going to do this more. Never aired a tarot reading before. That was my first. I have in the past. So that's a new tarot reading. And I'm excited to open up my divination to bring these messages forward. So guys, have a happy full moon in Aquarius on July 23rd. If this reading resonated, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear back, because this is all new for me, and this is a part of me playing in my new, and embodying more of all that I am. So I love you guys. Much love and respect to all of you out there, and I will see you soon.